Hello again, everyone, and welcome. I am Gary Godsoe, and this is Velocity Online Racing's coverage of Round 1 of Season 13 of the VOR IndyCar Championship. As today we come to you from Texas Motor Speedway for the Texas 300. And joining me in the booth this season is Kyle Klendworth. Klendy, you're a regular IR18 pilot, and you'll be joining our IR18 coverage this season. 114 degrees track temperature, 85 ambient, 200 laps, 300 miles, and the start of a brand spanking new season. What do you think?
New car, new season, new Texas. It's a new day for all of these VOR drivers. Julian Altena looking to snap a long streak of DNFs on ovals as the season starts here. He is the coordinator of this series, so hopefully he can find a little bit better luck today. And I can show that I can pull my rookie stripe off, because despite never having really driven the DW12, I finished third here in the season closer race at Vegas in the IR18. This is my bread and butter. the IR18 fixed is where I really thrive. So very happy to be here and happy to lend insight however I can through this 13th season of the Velocity Online Racing League.
About 2 minutes left here in qualifying, and Matthias Kraus on the provisional pole. Lovern currently second right now. Millward, the YouTuber, is third. Bennyworth fourth. Now Forsyth to the top, 2:14.6. But the defending champion of the series is Jesper Orman, and he has yet to take any speed. But we will see him very shortly. Patrick Salvazzi now to the top with a 2:14.8. We're getting faster and faster and faster as these times and conditions come down.
I think Jesper's going to put down a barn burner. I think he's going to start on the pole. He's going to lead every lap. That's not during a pit cycle. This guy is the Texas Whisperer, for those of you who do not know. He may be Scandinavian, but call him a cowboy.
Right, and 3 of the last 4. There's Julian to the top, and we've seen what he could do in the DW12 series is getting to the top here at Texas, but he's yet to translate those into the wins. 2:15, only car into the 2:15 range. But Jesper Orman, 3 winners of 3 of the last 4 races here in the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship. 42 seconds left to play here in qualifying as more cars are getting some laps out there. And Jesper looks like he just put in his time, or not sure what. He's pretty slow on the racetrack. Mason Mitchum to the top, 2:15.7 with 13 seconds left to play. We have in the neighborhood of, I believe, 29 cars in today's race. So this is going to be a packed field. Can't wait to see it as we are getting ready to grid up here.
So interestingly enough, I was watching Jesper as he did his laps. He ran through the marbles on his get up to speed lap, and it really messed up his whole effort. He got so tight through 1 and 2. So look for that later in the race. I think anything higher than the second groove in 3 and 4 is going to be no man's land.
And we are starting to grid up here, and we will get today's starting grid in here momentarily.
Gary, do you think Mason Mitchum chose the 33 because he's a Max Verstappen fan?
Well, it's probably a good shot.
He's looking just as fast as Max there on the front row on the pole. That votive Racing League car looks pretty fast today. Let's see if Mason can convert this pole to something bigger today.
And here's today's starting grid for the Texas 300 at Texas Motor Speedway. On the pole, Mason Mitchum, 2:15.7. The only 2 cars in the 2:15 range is him, and his right next to him on the front row is Julian Altena. He is 2:15 flat, but the considerable pace difference between the two, 0.7 of a mile per hour, is pretty good. When it comes to these cars. Lining up in row 2 is Alexander and Salvazzi. Row 3, Stout and Forsyth. Kraus and Lovern, row 4. Great run by Gary Lovern. And let's get this B-roll off here. There we go. And Coker and Millward. They are on row 5. Good run for both those gentlemen. Nunez and Bennyworth, Whitaker and Bree, Van Castel and Bonnie back in row 8. Orman, we'll be watching him from row 9 next to Kane. Evans and O'Sullivan in row 10. The winner in yesterday's DW12 race has a deep, deep hole to dig himself out of today. Bart Feuerstein, longtime series runner, is in row 11 with Strauss. Murphy and Teixeira back in row 12. Molina and Inch with no speed back in row 13. And Hugo Galles and John Christensen with no speed back in row 14. We're going to have 28 cars today here at Texas.
And not that our last 4 competitors are slow. They just chose not to post a qualifying time. They wanted to challenge themselves today, going from the back to the front.
As someone that's done that far too much to my own liking, good luck to them.
I usually qualify with my best efforts and end up about where Jesper is. So
that's true. I've done that myself. Like, that was the best lap I could do, but we're getting ready to go green for the first time. Season 13 here of the VOR IndyCar Championship.
Green flag.
oh, Henna's got the jump. He's going to go to the lead off of turn 2. Now here comes Seb Alexander to his outside. Let's see if he pinches or if he takes a wider line. Side by side down the backstretch.
That bottom line at 3 and 4 is the preferred line. You're not going to get much of it. You'll get a run off the top, but not a run to pass.
I think if your tires are a little better than the driver in front of you, you can. It will be later in the run, or if there's a tire difference, let's say you pit for tires 15 laps after the guy in front of you, you can convert that into a pass-worthy run, in my experience.
Dan Inch, purple lap that time by. Mason Mitchum. Caution, racetrack, Mark Murphy. Early day for the Murph, former series champion. Let's see what happened.
Looks like Lee Kane came in a little too hot into turn 1 and 2. And that's some wing to fender action that sent Murphy backwards into the wall.
Ouch. Yeah, that is a day done hit too. And we do not have fast repairs here in the IndyCar Championship. So he is going, unfortunately, someone that has finished very well in the championship the last couple seasons. Like I had mentioned, he is a former series champion back in season 9. He has a long road ahead of him for this season.
I know we talked a little bit about the stewarding yesterday in the DW12 race, but it works much the same here. These incidents will be reviewed after the race by an impartial steward to award penalty points if deserved. So I maybe was a little hot on the handle yesterday with one of the incidents, but I'll be a little more impartial here. I just know Murph's had a really bad string of luck recently, getting hit mostly from behind. So I can understand his frustration over the radio. I wonder if we can pull him up here for an interview later today, since he's no longer has driving duties, but just kind of get some of that post-race heat from under the collar.
Yeah, he needs to walk that one off. But while we got a chance here is the season 13 schedule for the IndyCar Championship. Texas, next week we're at Watkins Glen for the first of 3 road courses this season. Milwaukee, Iowa, Montreal, then the month of May in March. Then Nashville Superspeedway, Long Beach, Homestead, and Auto Club. And final race, 10-round season this season, we in May, just in time for the real Indy 500. Here is the Iconic Series. We had our first race yesterday. That was won by Liam O'Sullivan, who currently is in 16th spot in this race. We'll go to Michigan, Milwaukee, Iowa, Legacy, Kentucky, Indianapolis, Kansas, Legacy, Phoenix, the proper Phoenix Auto Club, Miami, Homestead, and Chicagoland. Some of those are double weekends with the IndyCar Championship. Not all of them are necessarily. There is some crossover between the two. It is free to join the Iconic Series. It is a paid league to join the IndyCar Championship. To learn more, just sign up in the VOR Discord, the Velocity Online Racing League Discord there. There should be a link in the description. Sign up there, and you can learn more in the Discord. Lap 6, now 7 of 200. Thanks for joining us. We're under caution early for a incident between Lee Kane and Mark Murphy in turn 1. Mark Murphy's day, unfortunately, is ended, but we are under a very early caution. What is the likelihood of people for the stint lengths for this race? Can you do a 50-50-50 and just make it on 3 stops?
A 50-lap run is asking a lot. The fuel is fine, but your tires are going to give up a lot of time. And when it's 3 stints like that, 3 full stints, you would give up probably a whole lap. I'll have to do some quick math and get back to you, just because we don't ever run this long in the fixed series, right? I'm going to answer a question in chat real quick, and then I'll answer your question a little better.
Here's some quick stats and trivia on Texas for the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship. These are all the races we've had in the history. Many races here over 13 seasons. Getting ready to go green coming to lap 8.
Quickly, Gary, to answer your question, a full tank of fuel at full push gets you about 49 laps.
Wow.
So 50 is not out of the question, especially with this early caution.
Well, we might see how that develops. Getting ready to go green. Julian brings us up to speed. It is Altena, Alexander, Mitchum, Stout, and Silvazzi, your top 5. Your biggest mover of the race, to no one's surprise, is Liam O'Sullivan. He's up 4 spots. Lovern to the inside of Kraus. He's trying to get that position here in the early stages.
I think that's key, Gary. It is the early stages, right? And this track is very technical, very difficult. It eats tires, and it requires a lot of patience and discipline. Jesper Orman, although I think he is my pick to win this race, he's going to be very diligent and very, I'll say, methodical working his way through the field today.
Here is Jesper working his way around Braden Whitaker. Next
Shane
up for
Coker
Orman. Yep, is Coker.
Yeah, next.
Bennyworth, purple lap that time by 2:13.1. That will constantly update whenever a new purple lap is set. You'll see that at the top of your screen. Coker, a bit of a rough start, down 4. But it is still early. No reason to panic yet for anybody. Bennyworth up 5. A little bit further, there's Bennyworth ripping the high side through 1 and 2.
I love the colors on Ben's car. That is gorgeous.
Yeah, very catchy.
It almost looks like a fishing lure.
It does. It actually does. And he is fishing for a win today, and he's got himself in a good watering hole at the moment. In 7th spot, lining up Craig Forsyth. He'd be a big catch. Outside, Seb Alexander looking on Julian for the lead as the 2 leaders are starting to pull away from Mitchum. Mitchum in a battle with Stout at the moment. We seem to have
Stout grabbed the grass there on the front stretch. He wiggled all the way down to the dog leg.
Yeah, but he's maintained the momentum. Here is for Silvazzi to the inside through 3 and 4. He'll get that position. If you get to the bottom and the inside of 3 and 4, you will get that shot. You will get the position. Just the way this track works.
Alexander to the lead.
Alexander rips the high side, gets the lead. Just judging by how much as he pulled away, I think Julian might have just decided to let him on by. Julian at this point might be thinking long game here. Julian has had a bit of a rough end to the IndyCar Championship last season, as a really rough end to the DW12 season. Even though he won the DW12 Championship in the Iconic Series, but he had another early out yesterday, so he is looking just to really kind of get a good finish under his belt. Alexander pulls away about a 4/10 of a second now.
Yeah, Altena looked really out of shape. Crossed up off of the exit of 2. I want to see if he can dial that back this lap, or if his tools are just in the wrong spot, or maybe he burned his stuff up on the first run. Yeah, out of shape again.
Yeah, out again.
Altena
Here comes
so loose.
Yeah, Silvazzi now right there attacking. Altena losing touch with Alexander. Alexander, one career win here in the VOR Series, and he won that last year at Laguna Seca. Currently doing pretty well in the IndyCar Oval Championship. You'll see that on Tuesday nights, top split here on over on our P1 channel. 7:15 p.m. Eastern. Klendy will be typically in those lineups. Number of guys that you see in this lineup will be in that lineup as well. Alexander, Altena, Silvazzi, Mitchum, Stout, your top 5. 18 laps into this early race here for round 1 of the Season 13 IndyCar Championship. And it says a lot to see 13 seasons under a league's belt. Many leagues don't get past Season 3 or Season 4. 13 for Velocity Online Racing. One of the more prestigious, longest-running championships out there on the iRacing service. Check it out.
I think the reason why, Gary, is because we see racing like this week in and week out in these cars. We're having a 3-car slugfest between Forsyth, Bennyworth, and Kraus. It's been a delight to watch.
Kraus, a former series champion, season 10. Here we see that battle right there. Number of cars getting close to the turn 2 exit.
That is so flat. That wall just jumps right out at you. All of the banking evaporates. Not that there's much at all in turns 1 and 2 anymore to begin with, but what little there is just falls off immediately. And that wall's there to greet you. And the track gets narrower.
Lovern in the wall. We got 2 cars on the wall. Lovern and Nunez bouncing off one another. Nunez might have some damage, but Gary Lovern day is definitely done. Right front is demolished. Wing is gone, and it was just a little touch of the wall that caused him to give up just a little bit of momentum. And Luis Nunez in the fiercely forward entry, and we'll show you the team layout here in a little bit, gets into the back of him. Let's watch that again. This is coming off of corner number 2, and he gets right up in the boom. Yep. And then he just tries to recover, and Nunez right in the back of him.
It's like Kismet. That's exactly what we were talking about, is that transition from turn 2 to the backstretch. The track narrows up and there's no banking. The car gets really, really tight. So you're incentivized to maybe dial in some weight jacker or turn the wheel more. But whenever you do those things, the car just gets incredibly out of shape. It's very, very difficult. It's one of the hardest turns in an oval on the surface in this car.
Let's watch Lovern here from his point of view. He really just catches the dirty air of Bree right in front of him there, and pow, just enough, bounces off, catches it, and unfortunately that just a little bit of, and we'll watch it from Nunez's point of view. We can get to Nunez's point. There it is. Just watch. This is at half speed right here on this replay. Watch how quickly the closing rate. Boom. He's there. And now, I mean, it's not a condition of ARCA brakes or anything. It just, everything happens so quickly in front of Nunez. He really didn't have time to get on the brakes and slow down enough not to make contact.
Yeah, and even if he had got on the brakes, this car goes in a straight line when you brake, right? He wouldn't have been able to turn to avoid Gary Lovern at that point once he realized there was going to be a problem. I think he did brake, and he was able to walk away with just a front wing that will need to be replaced. So his day will continue. His damage is not too severe, unlike Gary LOVERN'S.
Here's a team layout for the league. IAR 3 entries. 2 of them are left running right now. Team Watson, 3 entries. Altena Autosport, 5 entries. Votive Racing has 2. And Fiercely Forward has 1 car right now, which is Luis Nunez. There you see he won a race last season. And there you see the layout of all of the victories for the teams historically.
We got some strategery here. The front 2 drivers have chosen to not take fuel or tires. Actually, the front 3. It looks like Maximus Molina has also stayed out. However, he last pit at lap 1. And then Bart last pit at lap 6.
I think Molina might have started from the pits. Kane had contact with Murphy for that first caution. He stayed out, so he's gambling that whatever possible damage is not there, which is possible. That was a light tap. And Bonnie staying out, our beneficiary for our iconic series, has picked up the lead. So those 3 technically have not stopped, even though we do see Molina starting from the pits on that first lap. Bart Feuerstein, who is now 4th, he pitted under that first caution on lap 6. He is decided to stay out, but everybody else behind this group of 4 just came the pit road, and it will be interesting to see that varying degrees of skill level for these 4 drivers up front, with a whole host of very fast and now going to be angry drivers behind them, wanting to get back up past these guys, back up to the lead.
Yeah, these cold tires will be taking about a lap to get up to speed. We'll see how long it takes Altena and Alexander to get through these 4 leaders.
Bonnie wastes no time. He is underway. Green flag here on lap 25 of 200. Round 1 of the VOR IndyCar Championship, Texas Motor Speedway. Bonnie, Kane, Molina, Feuerstein, and Altena, your top 5 into 1 and 2.
Kind of wastes no time with Feuerstein.
Oh, car on the inside wall. That's Mason Mitchum.
He's going to be okay. No spin. Sorry, I called the yellow before it happened.
There we see Mitchum. He's recovering. Back up front it is Bonnie.
And that's those cold tires. Mitchum just got loose all by himself on the exit of 2. So either cold tires or too much weight jacker put his car at a 45-degree angle facing the inside wall.
And we've seen that before, even when we had the IndyCar series, or the IndyCar Oval series, top split over on P1. You could get if you're on cold tires, you get very loose in turns 1 and 2.
Second and third almost into the wall. Kane and Molina are now side by side for second. Get that to Molina, and here comes Altena trying to get them both.
Julian underneath Kane. Julian with the position. He cuts across the nose on Kane. A little bit further back, watching this battle with Forsyth, Silvazzi. We got Tim Bree in there, Bennyworth in there, Kraus in there. Here comes Jesper Orman. He's up 4 spots. Liam O'Sullivan up 6 spots.
This is when it's going to get hard for Feuerstein. Basically, his tires are way worse than everyone around him, and now he's in a boatload of dirty air. He's going to get swarmed here, 3 wide.
Oh, yeah, and he just needs to stay low. And through 1 and 2, it's wide, but he's going to bottle up a little bit here in 3 and 4 where it narrows down. And Jesper doesn't have a place to go. Jesper's going to have to go to the outside, stays to the inside in the quad oval area, hits the first dog leg down low. He's clear of everybody, hits the second dog leg. Stout, purple lap that time by. Here comes, we got Millward looking on the high side of it. No, Firestone shifts lanes and comes up, kind of puts a block a little bit on Millward. But here comes Luis Nunez, who is now fixed. He goes to the bottom. Now Bart stays high, smacks the wall off of 4. Everybody trying to get on by safely. Meanwhile, up front, Bonnie's still your leader. Bonnie with a racing pedigree in the blood. Former IndyCar Championship champion, real world IndyCar champion he is related to. Not going to say anything else. Julian to the inside and 1 and 2. Julian gets the clean pass. He's going to bring Alexander with him. And he's clear. So move Bonnie back to third. Bonnie 31 laps into the stint, so we expect maybe another 20 or so laps for him before he comes to pit road.
It may be more than that. He's had 2 caution cycles, so if he's trying to stretch this tank, he could go much, I mean, not much further, but maybe to 60, lap 60, if he's been a little cautious on the loud pedal.
Liam O'Sullivan around, or excuse me, battling Tim Bree. Tim Bree finished very well in the DW12 race yesterday. He finished 4th in that 4-way battle at the white flag and coming to that checker. And here is O'Sullivan to the bottom side of Bree. He will get the shot here in 3 and 4. Bree's going to probably get the dirty air of the car in front of him, which is Kraus. Oh, Bree's going to hold him off.
Yeah, the dirty air in 3 and 4 is not nearly as bad as in 1 and 2.
Oh, we're going to go 3 wide in the 1 and 2, which you can do here.
O'Sullivan will be the big winner here, up 2 spots. Not clear of Bree, though. They'll go side by side into turn 3.
Orman's going to follow through Liam. This battle between Bree and O'Sullivan continues. This is for 9th. Greg Forsythe to the inside of Bonnie. He will go through, so will Bennyworth move Bonnie back to 6th. As now he's just really kind of driving to get to his first stop. He is on a separate schedule than everyone else right now at the moment.
Yeah, it'll be in his best interest to pit as soon as they hit lap 50, I believe.
And we are 13 laps away from that. That will tick down real fast here. We got about 25 seconds a lap is kind of what we do here. Leaders are turning 24.9, so much of the field's running around 25. Julian Altena, your leader here. He is not getting away from Seb Alexander. Seb is 2nd, Stout 3rd, Forsythe 4th, Bennyworth 5th. Rouse, Bonnie, O'Sullivan, Salvazzi, Bree, your top 10. Murph checking in from pit road in chat. Just got running from behind. Not sure why.
I think he needs to take the hit me stickers off of his rear spoiler.
Well, Murph, you can't blame that one on Rogue Racing. And let's find a closest battle on the racetrack. We're right back here. Orman now. We're going to go 3 wide through 1 and 2 right now. Bonnie way up high. Molina also, who stayed out. He's going to stay up high. Actually, that's Salvazzi. Molina's actually filtered back to 16th.
Yeah, so there's a very large tire discrepancy. I think that if you ever have an opportunity to put on tires after 20 laps, you're going to do it. So earlier when I said it would take about a 15-lap tire difference to get a run that would appreciate into a pass down the backstretch, I think that number is closer to 10. And I think that's because of the track temperature today. It's about 115 degrees on the surface of the asphalt.
Ooh, Bonnie maybe possibly kissed the wall off of 4. That's a date I don't want. Here we go.
About the cold shoulder.
Yeah, look, if you're gonna kiss the wall off of 4, at least get a dinner first. Caution, Hugo Gilles in the wall.
And Mitchum, a 3-car pileup in turns 3 and 4. Well, 4 cars.
And I believe this is Molina. And Gilles underneath Molina. Let's see what happened here. Molina in the wall and just comes off the wall and side checks Gilles, and here comes Mitchum. And what I think he gets punted by Kane. And Marco Teixeira was also in this one as well.
Yeah, something that often comes up on iRacing generally is you get punished for doing the right thing. It looked like to me that Molina was trying to give Gilles more room on the backstretch, knowing that they would be side by side, and he drove himself into the wall. The wall acts like a giant suction cup and sucks you in. So if you try to break out of it, you don't get to do that until you turn the wheel substantially far left. Doing so caused that hip check down the back and then the chain reaction into 3 and 4. 5 cars here, all with enough damage to end their days.
But really should have just been 2 cars. And I'm going to, Mitchum, let's watch from his point of view. He sees everything happen in front of him. He is doing what he should do. In fact, he's doing what I would do. So he sees everything and happen in front of him. He is slowing down. And he's going to the inside because one of the things I'm worried about is getting punted from behind. So he goes to the inside, and what you should do, because all the action's up high, he goes down to the apron. He's trying to slow down and to stay out of everyone's way. And before he knows it, he's piled into. And let's go back to Lee Kane's point of view. I don't think the cars behind Mitchum were really slowing down aggressively enough, or they didn't expect Mitchum to slow down as much. But you are under caution.
Yeah, I would just say, you got to keep your head on a swivel. You really need to react to the car in front of you. If they're slowing down, you need to be slowing down just as much. That's fixed. Officials, leagues, all the same. You just cannot be put in a situation, or putting your other competitors in a situation where they need to watch their mirror and try to dodge you while they're ahead. Like, that is an impossible task for someone who's trying to dodge something that's stopped or wrecked in front of them.
The Velocity Online Racing League does have a second IR18 league that they offer. This is on Thursdays. This is their sprint series. If you're interested in that, be sure to sign up in the Discord, and you can sign up for their sprint series. There is their schedule for the sprint series. This is more akin to the IndyCar Fixed series, which mirrors the IndyCar Open schedule for the official races. So if you like that style of racing, check out the sprint series Thursdays here on Velocity Online Racing Channel.
A little bit of bookkeeping before we go back to green. It looks like from Craig Forsyth on back, everyone chose to come get tires and fuel. That was lap 44. If they do a little bit of saving, they can be on the lap 50 schedule that we talked about beforehand, while everyone else in front pitted on 23. They're going to be looking to pit somewhere around, I don't know, lap 65 or 75.
And we are coming to green this time at lap 46. As you mentioned, the first 10 stayed out. Everyone behind came in for pit road. So we got 2 different strategies out there, about 20 laps apart.
And if these tires act like the previous set that the leaders had, Forsyth and company should have no problem whatsoever working their way through the field and catching up with Alpina and Alexander.
Pennyworth.
Oh, Stout. Sorry.
Yeah, I was watching that.
Stout fed Pennyworth all of the dirty air in the world.
He did. He said, open up and say, ah. And unfortunately, Pennyworth took it all. And he had to rip the high side. He had no choice. But he about ended up in the turn 1 wall.
I bet you he goes low this time. No, even higher.
No, he likes that high line. And watch this run he's going to get on Stout. He's going to be right there on corner exit. Look at this big run to the inside of Stout. Pennyworth, power move to the inside through 3 and 4 and move him up to 3rd. Well, that's how you do it, guys. That is your money for nothing move right at the top there. Carl Stout 4th. Rouse now 5th. He's up 2 spots. Tim Bree up 8. He's 6th. Having another good Texas race here. All early. We're in the first quarter of the race still. Still a long ways to go, but it's got himself in a very good position. Salvazzi 7th. Millward. His oval craft is getting better, and he's looking to the underside of Salvazzi down the backstretch. And Liam O'Sullivan up 11 spots to 9th, and O'Sullivan just dives it down into 3 and 4. Gets the position on Millward. Moves Sullivan now up to 8th. A little bit further back, Coker and Forsyth. Forsyth with the brand spanking new tires. Jesper Orman coming right along with him. Orman's got those new tires as well. Orman, big run down the backstretch to the inside of Forsyth. He'll get this position.
This will make him the lead car on those new tires.
It sure will.
Now, Craig's going to go back and watch his stream later and say, I lost this race on lap 52 and Jesper got by me on the same strategy. I guarantee it. So I think this second strategy is better than the strategy the leaders are on. It just comes with a little bit of risk, right? That you're back in traffic and you have to navigate through them. But it looks like they're doing a really good job, and they're going to start taking on the top 5 here in no time at all.
Bree and O'Sullivan in a battle here now for, this is 6th and 7th, and O'Sullivan gets it, so move O'Sullivan now up to 6. This guy's coming right here. O'Sullivan's the man on the move. He stopped on 44. He's the lead car. Yeah, he's the lead car. The lead car now, it is O'Sullivan, then Orman, then Forsyth, who almost tags the wall coming off the corner there. Jesper underneath Bree. Jesper gets the spot. Former defending series champion, 2-time and reigning defending champion. Jesper. I inadvertently only gave him 1 championship when we declared his championship for last season. He has 2, actually. 1 back in Season 7 and 1 in Season 12. So he is one of 3 2-time champions here in this league. Julian Altena has 2. Jesper Orman has 2. Bruno Miranda, the Brazilian Storm. We haven't seen him in a while. He has 2 championships. And Alex Van de Sant, he is the career championship leader here in the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship. He has 3 of them. He won back-to-back-to-back for seasons 4, 5, and 6.
We have another lead change. Seb Alexander went high to low on Altena and took the lead going into turn 3 last lap. So... oh, Altena's switching back on him. It could be possible they're working together.
Yeah,
to try to
there might be a little collaboration going on here.
Yeah, they see Liam O'Sullivan getting bigger and bigger on their relative.
Even though that is a teammate to Julian, he is a big threat right now with those fresher tires. Lap 58 of 200. There we see O'Sullivan now around Kraus. Next up for O'Sullivan is his... one of his other teammates, Stout, who has been up front all day today. He's been in the top 5 literally pretty much the entire race. He is currently 4th there in that gold car.
Trust me, I know a thing or two about my teammates being my biggest championship rivals. So. I think we've got 5 cars in the top 10 of fixed points right now, which is pretty cool. Really, really cool.
Team cars?
Yeah, for road racing in the fixed series. A
little bit further on back, let's check this battle right around 12th. It is, whoa, look at this. Braden Whitaker on the inside with Bonnie there. Coker way up high. John Christensen, who started pretty much shotgun on the field, he's driven up into this mess. He is now looking 12 spots to the inside of Bonnie. Bonnie comes down, feeds him a little dirty air coming off the corner. Through the double dog legs of the quad oval area. Down to the bottom. Christian, contact between Bonnie and Whitaker. Caution.
We had a Whitaker fan in the chat. Hopefully, it looks like his side pod popped back on. The netcode God smiled upon Braden today.
And let's see what happens. I think Bonnie got a run on the inside, but he was getting dirty air from Coker, and boink, slides right up into him. And I think that's going to be a little bit more, disappointing out of that hit for Bonnie versus Whitaker. Whitaker looks like he's coming out the least of wear, whereas Alexander might be the worst of wear. Yeah, and he toes immediately. So Alexander Bonnie, who led a handful of laps by staying out after the previous caution, or the next to previous caution there, he is now out of this race on pit road, and Whitaker might have dodged a bullet. We'll see if he can come into pit road and get that car looked at. It does look like the side pod there is still waving around.
Yeah, it had settled back into where it should have gone. I thought it popped back into place, but it was just the wind placing it where it should be, not that it was fixed. So I'm sorry to misspeak yet again. At first, race in the booth here. Sorry, everybody. I am not infallible.
So because of that, everybody that was on the same strategy as the top 10, now they are coming into pit road, and everybody that from 11th on back at that last restart, they have, for the most part, stayed out. O'Sullivan now to the lead. Jesper Orman now second. Craig Forsyth now third. John Christensen, who we just saw in that battle, he stays out. He is now fourth. Whereas Julian, he decided with those leaders to come on in and get the service done. And he is now down and away, and your leader off of pit road on the second strategy now. So, well, he's the primary strategy, I guess. So we do have two strategies. We've got strategy A, strategy B. Strategy B is first, second, and third, and fourth. Strategy A is everybody else behind fourth. What do you think about this?
I think being on the fresher tires is almost always the best thing to be doing, especially early in this race, since fuel mileage isn't yet something you really need to worry about. Basically, you're on two different sides of a coin right now. Some people who are 16 laps short of their next stop, and people who are 16 laps past their last stop. Neither of them are in a position to cut a whole stop out of the race yet, due to where the cautions have fallen. But maybe if the cars that just pit now saved a little, and that'd save a lot. They could cut a stop out. But really, realistically, if we get a caution, 30 laps from now, hypothetically, everyone's going to pit and be reset. So the calculus becomes, can you use the fresh tires you put on now to be higher in the running order than you were when you pit? And since there are fewer cars on strategy, quote, A, right, the leaders right now, it will be easier for Altena and company, the strategy B cars, to pass them all. Versus before, Orman, Forsyth, O'Sullivan had to pass, 10, 11, 12 cars to get up to the front. So there's just less dirty air for these fresh tires to work through. So I think the fresher tires will reign supreme for, obviously the next 40 laps, but the fact that there are fewer cars in front will also play into their hands.
Half a lap away from going green. If you're just joining us, this is Velocity Online Racing's coverage of the VOR IndyCar Championship, coming to you from Texas Motor Speedway for the Texas 300. We've completed 64, coming to 65, a scheduled 200 laps. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel so you'll miss out on the next race. Your leader, Liam O'Sullivan, getting ready to take the green flag here, coming to lap 65.
All right, boys, let's get a green flag stint in here. Do some green flag pit stops. Show them how hard this pit road is to get on and off of.
I'll tell you what, Bennyworth just loves ripping the top. But, you know, I guess you go where the clean air is.
Yeah, finding the clean air is probably better for him than being committed to the bottom like Jesper has been. It's kind of the two strategies to tire saving, right? Either you wrap the white line or you go where there's no car in front of you. So far, the tires haven't gotten so old that no one's been punished really for either. Whether you've been stalking in someone's wake to save fuel and burn your tires up that way, or ripping the fence, putting that extra distance and the extra load on your tires, right? The tires have never gotten old enough to see someone fall off a cliff, so.
Well, I think we've only seen one driver fall off the cliff. I think that might have been Bonnie, but he was out Bennyworth that time by 2:13.4 purple lap. But I think Bonnie's about the only driver we saw that he stayed out well into almost about 40 laps into his stint before he had to come to pit road, or he came to pit road, got a tire change. But everyone else, I think 33 laps is the longest stint for just about everybody else. Here we watch Orman now on the outside. Orman normally used to ripping the bottom here at Texas, but Liam O'Sullivan's going to fill that slot right now. Make Bonnie go, or make Orman pass him up top. A little bit further back, Bennyworth getting around Christensen, so move Bennyworth up to 5th.
Ben's going to keep doing this high to low move. Watch him rip the fence here in 1 and 2. He's going to pass Forsyth in the corner. And then he's going to have a huge run on Orman and Altena.
Whoa,
oh, wow.
No. Craig might have smacked the wall. Yeah, and I'm guessing by the checkup and loss of momentum, he did get the wall. And now we're going to go 3 wide, and Stout does not want to do that. Definitely not with a teammate to the inside. That is risky.
Bennyworth in front of him, because you know Bennyworth's going to be on the fence. You're going to have bad, dirty air in 1 and 2.
So Forsyth trying to recover. And speaking of recovery, Luis Nunez in 10th. Good recovery for him. The winner at Detroit last season.
Yeah, he spanked him. It was like a pro showed up to an amateur race.
Yeah, it was him, and then it was the next was best in class. He's going to stay to the inside of Kraus here. And now we move Nunez. If he can get the pass completed, we'll move Nunez up inside the top 10. He's right at 10th right now.
Watch Bennyworth here. He's going to have another big run down the back.
And Orman to the lead. And we've been watching other races, but Orman, he is now the leader to nobody's surprise over O'Sullivan. Altena right there with his teammate in 3rd. And here comes Bennyworth joining this battle. Three wide coming off of the corner there. Inside was Christensen, but he tucks back in behind Bree. Bree now up to 8th. Craig Forsyth recovers to 7th. Also in this battle, Aiden Millward, the YouTuber. He is 12th. And his oval racing skills have gotten, his oval racing racecraft, let's call that, is getting much better in these Indy cars.
Altena at the bottom. He hit the apron, trying to avoid the Orman.
Bennyworth. Oh, Bennyworth in the wall off the corner.
No harm, no foul. It's a square little brush. He'll be all right.
Stout to the inside of Alexander. Nunez looking to the inside of Forsyth. Forsyth's going to slam the door, but Nunez will hold the position next to Kraus. We have 18 cars still running, 17 on the lead lap. Looks like Braden Whitaker did come to pit road and get the side pod repaired, so he is back running underway. Not sure what other damage may have occurred to that car, but he is still running. And staying on the lead lap, I mean, that is half the battle. Julian to the lead now through the quad oval area. Back to being the leader. Here comes Liam O'Sullivan on the bottom. He's going to follow his teammate on through and try to get by Jesper Orman.
Whoa, Bennyworth was there. O'Sullivan gave him just enough room. They banged tires off of 2.
Don't want to do too much of that.
Hey, man, the tires are replaceable. The side pod is.
Right.
Altena being a great teammate here, leaving a lane for O'Sullivan to get clean air on the left side of his wing through 1 and 2.
Ride with Seb Alexander, who has the best seat in the house, back in 6th spot now. He's watching the entire top 5, jockeying for position in front of him. 79 of 200 now. Still a long way to go. Alexander going down the 4th gear in the corners. As you see, I mean, there's a lot of work, even in a fixed setup race here in these IR18s. It's not just mashing the gas and turning left. Just about every single lap, you're working that gearbox every single lap.
Harry, do you remember the ISRA race at Texas we had just the other day?
Yes.
Do you want to know how many inputs I made per lap?
I'm guessing quite a bit. That includes the weight checker, doesn't that?
Yeah, I was probably making close to 35 to 40 adjustments, like individual adjustments every lap.
Ooh. That requires a great deal of concentration and the ever-looming specter of, inside block there a little bit by Liam. I think Liam actually was just going for the position in the clean air first. It looked like a block. I don't think it was a block. But the looming specter of netcode hanging over everyone's head all the while. Liam is not giving that bottom to Orm at all.
No, and Altena is still continuing to run 3/4 of a lane off the bottom to let the Altena Autosports cars share the bottom and gang up on Orman. Orman's saying, "Hey Seb, what are you doing? Get up here. Let's make this a fair fight. 2 cars on 2 cars instead of a 2-on-1."
Now you see the action behind Alexander. That's Stout, Nunez, and Bree. 3 different lines through the corner. And so one of the reasons why they reprofiled this speedway to give turns 1 and 2 a little bit of a different approach. Although if you ask me personally, the Legacy version is my favorite version of this speedway.
Really, in my opinion, 1 and 2 has something like 5 lines.
Yeah, it does. If you're enjoying Velocity Online Race's coverage of the VOR IndyCar Championship, please do us a solid. And if you respect the stream, please do us a solid. Make sure you support us by subscribing. And while you're at it, don't forget to smash like and click the bell so don't miss out on future Velocity Online Racing iRacing broadcasts. And that will be next week. The IndyCar Championship will be at Watkins Glen, while the iconic DW12 series will be at Michigan. Kind of settling into a bit. Oh, we got Jesper Orman coming to pit road, scheduled stop. You must enter off of turn 3 per the rules. He is skirting a little bit of power sliding down on the bottom near the wall, but makes it to pit road, gets down to the limit. So he is choosing to go 42 laps on this stint before coming to pit road for another set of tires and a full tank of fuel. 6 set of tires in the pits for everybody, 7 in the race total. You start with 1 set, 6 in the pits, so there should be plenty of tires to get to the end here. Down and away, so he is going to attempt the undercut here and see if he can possibly push here after these after this pit stop with these fresh tires, and see if he can possibly get around Altena and Sullivan, and even Bennyworth for that matter, by a very good margin and pick this lead up. Now, we've seen him do this before, so here he goes. Now, Clendy, how long do I allow Jesper to do this if I'm Altena and O'Sullivan and Bennyworth? Do I come to pit road now and do not allow him to answer?
Absolutely not. If you're Altena, I mean, you just pit on lap 63, right? That's 16 laps ago.
Pennyworth inside. Whoa. Okay, that's well. If I'm O'Sullivan, I'm 46 laps into the stint. Do I answer sooner rather than later?
Honestly, if your teammate's going to keep feeding you the bottom in 1 and 2, and you can keep logging good laps in second place, honestly, Julian might say, "Hey, Liam, hang out there. Keep Pennyworth and Seb Alexander behind you, so I can build a lead where they can't even draft me. Just take the preferred line in 1 and 2 while I feed you a little bit of clean air. They're going to work together." I think it's in Altena Autosports' best interest to keep these first 2 positions on the racetrack for now. Because if there is a caution, we've seen a few already today, Orman's going to be trapped a lap down. He's going to be forced to take the wave around, be at the tail end of the lead lap, and have the worst tires. So it's just too much risk right now. And the overcut, the tires have shown so much fall off. If you can reel Jesper in later in the race, your fresh tires will let you blow by him if you can track him down.
Stout and Nunez battling it pretty tough there. This is for 5th.
If you're an Orman fan at home, what he has going for him is that there are not that many chaotic battles on the track. We have 2 drivers side by side in the top 10 battling for 3rd and 4th and 5th and 6th. The rest of the field's pretty single file, and Jesper has clean air all the way around the track. It's as if though he were the leader, right?
And he's turning 24 eighths versus Julian's 25 flats.
2/10 a lap. Every 5 laps, that's 1 second. I just don't think you can beat Jesper at the same game. You've got to do a different strategy, right? So it doesn't do you any good to do what he does.
We see a battle between Whitaker and Christensen for 15th.
Good to see both of these cars still competitive after their the damage to Whitaker early.
A couple of close calls for both these drivers. Moving through the top 10, it is Julian, our started second, led the early laps, a good portion of the early portion of this race. And he is our leader. Liam O'Sullivan, his teammate, is up 18 spots. Did not have a good queue, but has driven his way to the front. He is second. Pennyworth up 9 spots to third. Seb Alexander, he started third. He's currently 4th. Luis Nunez started 11th, currently is 5th. Carl Stout started 5th, currently is 6th. Tim Bree, he's also still in that battle right there around Nunez and Stout. Bree up 7 spots. He started 14th at the 7th. Kraus, former series champion, is in 8th. Millward now cracked the top 10. He's in 9th. And Silvazzi, not having the greatest run, but still hanging on to the top 10. He's down 6 spots in 10th. That is your top 10. Strauss, Forsyth, Coker, Inch, Whitaker, your top 15. Christensen, 16th. Orman just stopped. He is only 10 laps into his current stint. He is in 17th spot, and he's the last car running in order on the racetrack. 17 cars still running, 28 started. Had a handful of cautions that kind of slow down our pace, but we seem to be in that portion of the race where everyone has kind of got their, let's call it, sea legs underneath them and figured out what they're going to do, and now are really kind of racing the racetrack to kind of get to their next pit stop.
Orman no longer has that luxury. He's going through these drivers on the older tires. He just put himself side by side with Shane Coker here on the front stretch, looking to unlap himself the hard way.
And there is Orman using the bottom that he's used to using. O'Sullivan coming to pit road. Scheduled stop 56 laps into his stint.
Yep,
So he still has one more stop after this.
Yep, you'll see him go 50 laps or so and then bring it home.
John Christensen on pit road too, scheduled stop.
So this is where we'll see how much time Jesper gained on the fresh tires early. O'Sullivan's exiting the pits now. And Orman's going to be blowing by him right now. It's going to be something like 6 or 7 seconds, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. I would if I was O'Sullivan, I might have would have answered that one a little bit quicker.
I really disagree, Gary. I think from this point onward, so hypothetically, you're Liam, right? You pit on the same lap as Jesper on the previous yellow, or on lap 44, right? If there's a yellow now, you both get the wave around. You're right behind him, and your tires are so much better.
And he is 5 seconds behind Orman right now. But we'll see if he can reel him in with the fresher tires.
Not only that, he'll get fresher tires for every stint throughout the end of the race, right?
Yep.
He'll only have to go 50 and 50, whereas Orman has to go something like 56, 54 on his remaining stints.
Aiden Millward on pit road, scheduled stop, 40 laps into his stint. Looking at one more stop after this. What else we got coming to pit road? Silvazzi coming to pit road, scheduled stop, 41 laps into his stint. Also on pit road, his teammate, looks like that is Strauss. Winner last season at Gateway. Bennyworth, you mentioned, coming into pit road, scheduled stop. Bennyworth, 42 laps into his stint. So when does Julian make the turn down pit road? He's staying out one more lap. He is your leader by 1.9 over Nunez, who is staying out long. So is Bree. He's third. Kraus is now fourth. Alexander, fifth. Alexander just stopped, I believe, not too long ago. He stopped 3 laps ago. Julian's staying out, though.
Whitaker will be in this time by. And Eltena will be in this time around as well.
Julian to the inside. There's Inch coming off of pit road. It's clear of him going to the inside. Very slippery apron. He's to the very inside of near the tire wall, so he's trying to make this as a shortest trip as possible. He needs to get down to the speed limit at the cones on the button. And now he runs down pit road. Now, I'm sure he's following the pit road rules, but there is a very specific method of pitting here in the Velocity Online Racing League. You got to stay to the right as long as you can before you get about a stall away or 2 away from your own stall. Then you could come to the inside. There you see he dodges Whitaker. And he's down and away. New tires, full tank of fuel. One more stop to go still for Julian to get to the end. But he is done right now. So the leader is Luis Nunez. Kraus is now second. Tim Bree coming to pit road. He was third. Coker now is going to move up to fourth. Orman, when all these guys pit, he will pick up the lead. And he still has 3 seconds on O'Sullivan.
I would expect that to shrink as this run goes on. Harold Stout did move himself around Julian with a little bit of an undercut, but they are teammates. They may play nicely here and all work together to catch Orman.
Yeah, Stout had himself a 9.7 second pit stop while Julian had an 8.3. I don't know, maybe Stout maybe short-filled a little bit, possibly. I don't know. I mean, you just need to get to 50, lap 150, or lap 155, and you could probably go to the end. So that might be what he's doing. Instead of a full tank to go as long as possible, short fill it, get some track position, and then you're trying to pit to a target lap. Nunez coming off of pit road. And Alexander will get around Nunez, and I think Bennyworth will. He'll get close.
So one interesting wrinkle here is that Orman is on the back bumper of Christensen. Christensen is a teammate to O'Sullivan, Stout, and Altena, and he's been running as if he is the leader, trying to prevent Orman from passing.
Julian purple that time by, too. So Julian hitting the purple lap when he needs to. Coker is your leader, and he's on pit road, coming to his next to last stop. Orman now picks up the lead, but yet you're right. I mean, Christensen right in front of him. And Christensen running the bottom right where Orman wants to be. Do we think team orders is in play? Possibly.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
As a lot of people are not, a number of people are not fans of team orders. And, I don't say hate the player. I say hate the game on that one. I mean, if it's all within the rules, no one's doing anything wrong. If you want, to be a beneficiary of team orders, get more teammates out there. That time by Orman, a 24.6, but also O'Sullivan, a 24.6. Also 30 laps into the stint.
A 25.1 to 21 flat. I think that those are the fastest laps, the 24.6s.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, reading the wrong column. 25.1 by Orman, a 25 flat by Liam. So Liam's cutting into the lead a little bit, but about a half a distance in terms of a stint length is between the tires on O'Sullivan's car versus Orman's car. Orman's 30 laps into his stint now, whereas O'Sullivan 16 laps into his stint. Half the age.
Those tires are really going to start showing their age here for Orman, especially since he's been trapped behind Christensen. And then they've got Coker and Whitaker not too far ahead. So there will be lap traffic that probably dictates the end of this race or how it will develop. Yeah, Jesper is a sitting duck here. I think Julian and Liam are going to work together. They're going to lock right onto his draft wake here in a handful of laps. It's continuing to drop about a tenth of a second or more every lap.
Yep.
Altena's now
it's
passing
under
O'Sullivan
2 seconds. Under 2 seconds, and I think they're working with one another. If you're
this is why.
Go right ahead.
I was going to say, this is why responding to the call that Orman made, Orman's call was very risky. Yes, he put himself in the lead right now, but if there was a yellow anywhere in the pit cycle or anywhere for the rest of the race that's not in the next 10 laps, he will be at a huge disadvantage. He will also be at a huge disadvantage for pace and for the end of the race because his tires will always be older when it, quote, matters at the end of a run. The overcut here on a long green flag run is going to let these Altena Autosport cars really dictate the outcome.
And we'll get the channel ID in here. If once again, if you're just joining us, this is the Velocity Online Racing's coverage of round 1 of 10 of the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship, coming to you from Texas Motor Speedway for the Texas 300. For Jesper Orman, the Texas Whisperer currently leads. We got about 80 laps to go. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race. Watching Julian Altena, our early race leader, work his way back to the back attenuator of Orman, now 1.3 behind, so he is in the draft envelope.
Yep, and in 3 and 4, that's something you really love to see. It allows you to build a huge run because, like I said earlier, the dirty air in 3 and 4 doesn't matter nearly as bad as in 1 and 2. So as long as Christensen keeps feeding Orman dirty air on the bottom, Altena's free to go wherever he wants in 1 and 2, and then follow in line and make up a ton of ground in 3 and 4. Julian's been snake bit though on these ovals here. he's in prime position to take home a podium or perhaps a win today on the strategy he's running. Hopefully, no more bad luck shows up here for the remainder of the day for him.
Julian won one race last season. He won at Road America, but did not win anything else after that. It has been a while since Julian won on an oval. I'm going to go back and check here. As we're watching Christensen now. Julian's last oval win at Milwaukee in season 10. That was October 21st of 2020. One of the races that wasn't even broadcasted.
In the dark times.
In the dark times. The reason why I was showing you Christensen there is that I just wanted to show you Christensen's doing nothing wrong. I mean, he is feeding the dirty air to Jesper. But again, nothing wrong there. Now he's to the inside of Whitaker. Now Jesper goes to the high side.
Yeah, you can really see the age difference in tires here between Orman and Altena. And Christensen's doing a great job. He's fighting those cars for position, right? So he's doing nothing wrong.
No, nothing wrong.
He tracked them down.
And Julian now 6/10 to our leader.
And it's not like Christensen was, going 80% throttle or brake check.
Yeah, no, right? Not doing anything shady. Not doing anything shady. I mean, he wasn't making life easy putting his car where Orman wanted to put his car, but
it's a motor race.
It's a motor race. I know. I'm not saying anything's wrong with that. Again, I always say don't hate the player, hate the game.
Well, it's a simulator. So take note here. We're on lap 130. It's been about 43 laps since Jesper's pit, right? Is that
yes,
the right
42
math?
exactly, but 43 next time by.
And Altena's in prime position to pass him, right? This will be about where we'll be with, if the cycle repeats itself, let's say 15 or 20 laps to go in the end of the race. So assuming everything plays out like it did this run, Altena will have 15 to 20 laps to hunt down Orman and pass him at the end of the race, just like this.
Strauss and Salvazzi. I believe this is a battle between teammates right here. This is for 11th. Bree and Kraus. This is the next closest battle on the racetrack before we actually now in a second, if Bree can't get around, he's in the dirty air, washes up. Now the closest battle on the racetrack is this for the lead. To the inside, Julian. He's going to just send it on in there. Off the corner. Tucks back in.
He overdrove just a hair to try to get the position on Jesper. I think Jesper realized that, hustled through the middle of the corner to build a run off, just to keep Altena behind for one more lap. Every lap Orman can keep Altena behind is extra time that he won't have to make up later.
Well, it didn't last for too long. New leader. Julian is your leader. He is the champion of Season 1 and Season 2 and has won. He's been in the championship hunt every season since Season 1 and Season 2, since he won those initial championships. But he has not won a championship since then. So he very much wants to win. And even though this is his league, he is the admin. The level of competition has really stepped itself up here over the years. And for him to win a championship now, I'm sure it will be very thrilling to him.
Plus, he'll tie Alexander Vanessing.
Yeah, be a three-time champion. Chris, right now, Alex and Jesper lead league history in the most wins. Julian has 11.
now is the biggest Shane Coker fan on the planet. He's saying, Shane, do everything you can to keep Altena in that dirty air. Because Orman's objective right now is just to hang on to the coattails of the leader as long as he can. Because he still has 10 to 13 laps left that he has to maintain on the track before he can make his final stop.
Here, Julian's going to get around. Coker's there as he had a hard time coming off the corner into the quad oval area. Now Julian can work with Christensen to plan something here. He's in the draft of Christensen, so and then there's now a lap car in between Julian and Orman. Maybe in this period they can help a third team car, Liam O'Sullivan, catch up to Orman. Liam on the high side, ripping it up top. Gonna get a big run down the backstretch. Also another team car, Carl Stout. So Altena Autosport cars in first, third, and fourth. And then a car in 15th, helping out our leader as a teammate.
Yeah, he let Altena go. So Altena now has unfettered access to clean air. He's really going to start yarding Jesper here. The objective for the rest of the AA cars is to get by Orman and bury him as far back as possible. Here comes O'Sullivan to the outside in 3.
Orman now 52 laps into his stint, and he needs desperately to get to he needs another 10 laps, and I don't know if he can do it.
Well, he has to. He has no point. He's made his bed. He's got to sleep in it.
Stout to the inside of Whitaker. This is not for position, just track position. Now Stout in the battle. So the Stout pressure Orman, or just know that Orman's coming to pit road anytime now. And Stout's not too far off of Orman in terms of when he coming to pit road. Stout's 42 laps into the stint. Julian's 32. O'Sullivan is 40.
12 laps difference between Orman and Stout, right? So Stout's going to
Stout to the high side through 3 and 4.
Power move.
and he did it extremely high because Orman wasn't on the very bottom. Orman was about a half lane off the bottom. And now now we see Whitaker getting around Jesper on the top. So I think Jesper's dialed it back. I think he has no choice. Here comes Nunez for position.
The tires they're gone. They're roasted. He's going to lose this spot and a spot to Seb Alexander. And if he's lucky, Aiden Millward won't catch him, who's 8 seconds behind before he has to stop.
Orman that time by a 26 flat. And he's coming to pit road. And so this is interesting. He's going to really have to conserve and save. He needs caution to happen to him on this stint. Otherwise, he has a splash and go at the very end.
I think he can make it. It's the same distance. It's going to be 57 laps, right? Which is just about what he just did.
56, yep. I think he's going to have to save a little bit.
No, he needs his tires to hold on. He needs a caution when he's the leader after this undercut has happened. So he's going to have like a 15 to 20 lap span. Remember when Altena was trying to catch Orman? Basically, when that happens again, he needs a yellow come out at that point so he can put his tires on and have a 20 to 30 lap advantage with still 20 to 30 laps left in the race to use them and pass all of the AA cars again.
The window to the finish opens in about 5 to 10 laps for a lot of these drivers who need this stop. We will see what happens. But one of us thinks Orman can go to the end. He just needs to I think he needs to save a little bit, but he thinks, Klendy thinks it's going to come down to tires.
Yeah, the pace differential, fuel's not going to be a problem for Orman. He made it easily that last stint. His tires are what gave up on him.
Here goes Nunez to the inside of Christensen. This is just for track position. We'll move Nunez now. He's in fourth, but move him closer and in direct contact with Stout. I will say that the lap traffic today has been pretty respectful for the most part.
Yeah, that nobody's really done anything inconsiderate. Competitive, yes. Inconsiderate, no.
Villeneuve, final stop possibly coming to pit road right now. He rode the whole high line on the apron all the way around. It's a little bit longer line, but he's coming down into pit road for his final stop possibly.
So Nunez has about 14 lap fresher tires compared to Stout. This is where the over or undercut for these two cars I think will be the most important for determining what will likely be the bottom step of the podium. I don't think Jesper has a chance to podium just from the strategy he's dealt himself. I think when these two cars pit, if everything goes accident or mistake free, will determine which of them gets bronze and which of them comes home fourth.
Right now it is AA cars in the top three. And we have an AA car giving up the one of the top three spots. And I believe Stout and O'Sullivan are both coming in for scheduled final stops.
Both cleanly down to the speed limit. No penalties there for Stout or O'Sullivan.
Looks like Strauss was making his final stop as well. O'Sullivan done. He's down and away. Stout waiting. He's down and done, and he's done for his final stop. So now we await our leader. 43 laps in, and he's coming in now.
Luis Nunez now has the option to go off strategy or follow. He goes another lap. He had about 4 more laps compared to Altena. So he's going to overcut this last stint. Let's see how long he stays on the track.
Villeneuve ripping the top again on the fresher tires. Millward coming off of pit road for his final stop. Nunez.
Villeneuve, this is very important for him. He needs to stay only 1 lap down. So if there is a yellow during this cycle, he doesn't get trapped there. And it looks like this is going to put him 2 laps down to Nunez.
He needs a hustle, but he also knows, he might also know Nunez has, contact between our leader to the inside. Oh, Millward splits the difference. Our leader's coming to pit road, but contact between Villeneuve and our leader.
That was just 2 cars going for the same piece of real estate. Nunez on a little bit older tires, and Villeneuve having to force the issue to stay on the 1 lap down.
He came right up in. I don't think he expected Villeneuve to be there. I think Nunez kind of came up into him.
Agreed.
Let's watch from Villeneuve's point of view, and we'll hide the vertical ticker here. But you should see coming into turn 1 and turn 2, a car to the inside. And that's going to be Nunez. There he is. And he's clear. I mean, if you don't see the car at all, I mean, you're super clear. I don't really see him coming down. In fact, he's going up. He's going all the way to the wall. And Nunez just boots him. Wow. I didn't expect that.
Great job by both those drivers to keep those cars going straight, however. And a great job for everyone avoiding them as they were all over the backstretch.
Villeneuve on pit road might have damage. That might be, and Julian fastest lap, 2:14 flat, and it might be day done for Villeneuve.
What a day he had. Ran a lot of time in the top 3, ripping the fence, putting on a show. Hopefully Villeneuve has better luck as the season progresses. Rouse
coming to pit road for his final stop at lap 157. We'll bring the ticker back up here. Bree is now going to get the lead for a little bit.
If you are a Jesper Orman fan, I have bad news for you. He did not beat the Altena Autosports cars onto the track this stint. Both Julian Altena and Liam O'Sullivan have already gone around him, only 13 laps into his stint. He now has older tires and worse track position. However, with Nunez being kicked to the curb, he may be able to hold off Carroll Stout for the bronze medal, but Stout's hot on his heels now.
Watching Tim Breed leader, Whitaker now is cycled up to second. 48 and 50 laps, respectively speaking, for these two. So we expect them to come to pit road anytime. They're kind of hoping for a caution here. They almost got it there momentarily. Nunez went to pit road. He is back running again. And he's going to get around Bree and get a lap back. Coker coming off of pit road. Final stop complete. Here comes Bree to pit road. So now this will turn the lead over to Whitaker if he doesn't come to pit road this time by. Right behind him, a three-car battle for track position. Silvazzi, Strauss, and Forsyth. Actually, that's all for position. Whitaker coming to pit road. That's going to give the lead to Julian.
He's got 3 cars, soon to be another lap down right in front of him.
Stout and Orman for position. This is for third. Stout on by. And I think Nunez, unless Nunez has some damage to his car, Nunez might be able to run down Orman. All right, let's get a load of this battle right here again. Savazzi, Strauss, Forsyth, they have all been all right together with the leader right behind him. They are wanting to stay on the lead lap. Forsyth is the last car on the lead lap, so Forsyth wants to hustle. But the leader is there. Oh, no! Right in front of the leaders! Strauss getting loose off the corner, and we are under caution. Oh, big break for Orman. I would imagine everyone's coming to pit road for fresh tires. Watch this. He just get a little too much jacker because he was loose even before the exit. And I want to watch from Forsyth's point of view. Here we go. Watching this from the point of view of Forsyth, that's happened right in front of him. The leader is right behind Forsyth. Loose. And then, oh my gosh, right in front of me. Oh my goodness. Goes to the inside, gets on by.
That's just old tires and maybe too much weight jacker there.
Julian
Strauss did a really good job being predictable, keeping the brakes held, and letting the traffic go around him.
Julian, same thing. I don't think Julian wanted to see that caution, though.
Not at all. That gives new life to Jesper Orman. This is the scenario I was talking about. He needed the yellow with enough time to use the tires at the end of the race to make up the position he's lost.
Well, we got a heck of a finish ahead of us right now as we see Christensen. I don't know if he's going to come to pit road next time or he's going to stay out and get the wave around. He might opt for the wave around. That will put him back on the tail end of the lead lap. He should be good to go to the finish, but he's just not going to have fresh tires. Julian did pit. O'Sullivan pitted, Stout pitted, Orman pitted, Nunez pitted. These are everybody that pitted at lap 165. So staying out, Millward, Kraus, Bree, and Silvazzi. So they are going to go on the gamble.
Well, Kraus just pit on 158.
Yeah, he's only 7 laps into his stint. Bree, 4 laps into his stint. Silvazzi, 9 into his. Millward, 14. But the YouTuber that likes to cover a lot of Formula One history, check out his channel. He is trying his hand at IndyCar for a second season here in the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship. And his oval racing racecraft has gotten as much improved from where he started a season ago to now. And he is now your leader in the late stages with 35 to go here at Texas. He is opting to stay out and gamble that we might have a lot of traffic holding back the guys that have controlled the pace for much of the day. Julian, Liam, Stout, Jesper. We'll throw Nunez in there, although Nunez has had quite the adventuresome day. I mean, he's had two contacts with people today.
One new front wing and a scuffed up right side pod, both on the backstretch. Hopefully, he doesn't have any misgivings or sees any ghosts here on this restart when he could make a move.
And Whitaker's going to bop out of the way, so he's going to stay to the inside. That will allow the leaders on by.
Timothy Bree did not want to see that. He has the best tires of the cars that stayed out. And now Altena is more or less just one car removed behind Silvazzi when it would have been two.
Coming to green. And a good jump by Millward. An early jump. Green flag. Millward, Kraus, Bree, Silvazzi, and the freshest tires on Julian Altena's car is in fifth. They're off in the 1 and 2.
Now, if you're one of these leaders who just pit, don't panic. You've got 33 laps. You don't need to get this done right now. The guys in front of you, they're all going to wear their stuff out. They haven't been up front all day.
Look
at
all those.
How to do it like you do.
Look at all those marbles that are out there on the high side.
Kraus to the lead.
Kraus
Tires are 7 laps better.
Powers it to the lead. Kraus, your season 10 champion, looking for a good start to this season to begin that campaign for his second championship here in the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship. Top 4 all together. Liam O'Sullivan showing that he is going to close it quickly because he is now setting a purple lap at a 2:14.3. Closers be closing inside Silvazzi on Bree. We got 2 independents and 2 Team Watson cars up there. Here comes Julian underneath Bree. Bree in a very similar position where he was yesterday in the DW12 race. Julian getting in line with Bree, getting to the draft behind him. Now he was thinking about taking a 3 wide. He's going to stay on the high side. Got to be cognizant of the car on the inside. That's his teammate, Liam O'Sullivan. Also joining them, another teammate is Stout. And Orman around Stout. Oh, contact!
Trouble!
And 3 cars into 4 cars into it. And 2 of the Altena Autosports, 2 are our leaders. One of which is our defending champion. Oh my goodness.
A little bit of netcode.
A lot of netcode between Bree and O'Sullivan. And they go in the Orman. And poor Stout, who hardly has turned a tire wrong today, is an innocent bystander. We'll watch from Stout's point of view. Just nowhere to go.
Just a big funnel off the turn, too. Not enough room for all the cars. Millward and Silvazzi see that Altena had inevitability on the fresh tires, and they're coming to get their freshest tires here at the end now.
Yep. And there we see Millward and Kraus coming to pit road for their final stops. Or actually not their final stops, just to get those fresh tires. Silvazzi with them too. So they have those tires. You can't take them with you to the next race. You might as well smoke them if you got them. So they got those fresh tires. Put them on. There are tire limits here. It's 7 sets of tires. You start the race with 6 in the pits, 1 on the car. So Julian is now the leader. Seb Alexander second. Luis Nunez third. Craig Forsyth fourth. Dan Inch is fifth. Dan, just driving to survive, has now got his car in a position for a top 5. Kraus is 6th. Millward 7th. Silvazzi 8th. Christensen's got the wave around. Ooh, careful, Whitaker. Slow down. Whitaker rejoins the field. Very hot, but Whitaker is going to be on the lead lap now in 10th. Christensen is in 9th. Now, can Christensen again help his teammate? All the teammates out there are gone. Everyone is basically without a wingman for the most part.
Yeah, Altena is only down to Christensen, but Christensen had such a stroke of good luck there, taking the wave around last time and now having fresh tires. And we know he has pace. He held up Jesper Orman earlier.
And we started this race with 28 cars. We are down to 10. This is a good old-fashioned kart era race with attrition. Julian, your leader. Seb Alexander second. Luis Nunez third. Craig Forsyth fourth. Dan Inch fifth with 27 to go for the opener here at Texas Motor Speedway. And Julian already trying to break the draft down the backstretch.
Kraus will be the first car with tires fresher than the first 5 leaders. So it's his job to try to dismantle this top 5 over these last 25 laps.
And now we're watching Millward and Silvazzi racing side by side. Both these guys have fresh tires. Millward rips the top, gets the position, holds it over Silvazzi. Silvazzi has to regroup, but give the position for 7th back to Millward. He is breaking away a little bit, so we're going to see if Silvazzi can reassess and reattack here in just a moment. But meanwhile, up front, side by side, Seb Alexander, purple lap that time by, and he is challenging for the lead.
Tires are fresh, the tanks are empty. You've got a big blasted draft in front of you. It's easy to set a purple lap. Seb Alexander, wheel to wheel with Julian Altena here in turn 4 at Texas Motor Speedway.
Julian getting right to that white line through 1 and 2. Now he goes to the bottom, trying to break the draft. Here comes the snake. Or Marcus Ericsson parlance, the dragon.
Nunez, the interested party. As long as those leaders stay side by side, it will be hard for him to find clean air here in 1 and 2, but easy to build a big run in 3 and 4. Kraus is going to have a big run here on Inch for 5th.
Clear of him. Millward's there as well. Julian staying low. Now if this line looks familiar, this is basically we were at the Legacy version of this track yesterday for the Iconic Series, but this is basically the line that Liam O'Sullivan was running in the closing lap, or basically all race long. He just controlled the bottom. And watch, just midway down the backstretch, just Julian to the inside. Actually, he's going to come out wide this time.
Yeah, Seb wasn't close enough to mount a charge to the bottom, so there's no reason to compromise their entry into turn 3.
Grab a Coke, grab a seat, settle in. 20 to go. Round 1, Texas VOR IndyCar Championship Season 13 opener, and it's coming down to the wire. Season 1, Season 2 champion Julian Altena looking for win number 12 in his career here in the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship. Right behind him, Seb Alexander looking for win number 2 after getting his first win last season at Laguna Seca. Challenging on the top side. Right behind him, Luis Nunez, who has one win from last season as well. He's looking for his second career win here in the series, representing Fiercely Forward, and of course Craig Forsyth. We cannot rule out Craig. Craig has 83 starts here in the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Series. He has 6 wins. He has the next he has almost the next I think he has the second highest amount of starts in league history. Double check that. Yeah, he does. He's only behind Julian with 131 starts. So Forsyth with 83, 6 wins, looking for win number 7. But now he has a fresh set of tires behind him. And Kraus.
Kraus is just going to have to find the line that Forsyth doesn't want in 1 and 2. You can't do that if you're Kraus. You cannot follow in his tires. I mean, you can do it, but that's not the fast way. It's not how you make positions. Alexander trying desperately to mount a charge on Altena.
Julian there, see to the inside, protecting there a little bit. Not a block. He established his line. Rules of IndyCar allow you one move, one defensive move, and then any other moves after that that answer the car behind you is considered blocking. Side by side through 1 and 2. Julian to the inside through 3 and 4. The faster line. Gotta watch right here. Funnel. This is also another funnel at the second dog leg. Then it really widens out here in turns 1 and 2. Julian on the bottom. Manages to sneak out to a 1/10 of a second lead. Nunez not mounting much of attack. I gotta wonder if Nunez might be possibly damaged. He has not gained on him at all. Again, he could be biding his time, saving those tires, watching the leaders kind of wear off that rubber, maybe make a run here at the end. But he almost smacks the wall coming off a 2.
He and Forsyth both. I think these tires are starting to show their age.
I think Forsyth about followed him through. I mean, I don't think Forsyth tires are that bad. I think about Forsyth, I think about, you know, when you're following that driver in front of you and you just follow him too closely and you follow him right up into the wall. I think that's about what happened there.
Yeah, target fixation. Time to turn off your targeting computer, Craig.
Use the force, Craig. Julian on the bottom through 3 and 4, still holding off Alexander, coming to 10 to go.
If Kraus wants to make those new tires count, he's got to get around Forsyth and Nunez. It looks like they're all about equalized. I think Kraus might have used up a little too much.
Watching Silvazzi and Millward still battle this out. These two guys have done nothing since the restart of being nemesis to one another, both with essentially fresh tires, 19 laps old now. So that's how quickly we are into this final sprint to the end. Everyone stopped on 165. 9 to go. Julian a little bit higher off the bottom, feeding that dirty air, or at least on one of the wing planes, to Seb. Seb getting a good run on the outside in the 1.
I think if Seb can get alongside with Julian, he's going to stop playing nice here and he's going to start pinching. The only way the outside car has an opportunity to pass the leader is if they cause the leader to overcommit and lose speed on exit. And that's all determined by what the leader does on entry and in the middle. So by pinching, causing them to drive in deeper than they'd like.
With so few cars left in the race, lap traffic is not going to play a factor here in the closing stages. 7 to go. Don't go anywhere. Thanks for joining us. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Give a thumbs up for the action that you're seeing right here. And join us for the end. Coming to six to go. Altena, Alexander, Nunez, Forsyth, Kraus, your top five. Every single one of these drivers in the top five has a win here in this series. They're looking to add to that total. Julian again, about a half lane off the bottom, giving the dirty air to one of the wing planes of Seb Alexander, making him push a little bit. Seb now on the outside, even going into 1 and 2, but Julian's going to have the better line on the bottom. Going to get a run off the top, but see if Seb can do. Julian to the bottom of the racetrack to guard the bottom line, going into 3 and 4, coming to 4 to go. Seb trying to,
big run.
Yeah, he's trying to set up a run, cool off those tires a little bit more. You got 1 or 2 more chances, possibly now 1 chance here with 4 to go. To the outside, Julian not allowing him to pinch. Stays about a half lane off the bottom, goes to the bottom, coming off the corner to the inside. Oh my goodness, Seb almost got a wheel there, but tried it. It was open. But that's going to cost him a little bit of distance now. 2 tenths up to Altena. Altena coming to 3 to go. That one cost him a little bit.
To lift. He chose to lift when he didn't need to. What could have been for Alexander? Let's see if he can mount one more charge.
Now it's 3 tenths. Julian starting to pull away. Coming to 2 to go. It has been 2 seasons since this man won his last oval race. He has been snake bitten through the entire second half. Oh, to the inside. Here comes Seb. He got there, but he couldn't quite pull alongside to pull the pass off. Julian stays out top, coming to the white flag. The man has been snake bitten through all second half of last season, even into the iconic series, looking for the white flag and win number 12 of his career here in VOR. Also looking to start off the season right for his 3rd championship. To the bottom, Julian has the lead. Here we come down the backstretch. Can Seb mount one more run to the inside? Julian's going to block the inside. Coming to 3 and 4, side by side. Julian's going to float out a little bit high in 3 and 4, come down the bank. He's going to have a run off to the quad oval, and Julian gets the win. Monkey off his back here at Texas.
Snake bit no more. In the American Southwest, home of the rattlesnake, Texas was the home of the anti-venom for Julian Altena. He has cured himself.
Demons exorcised. He might just be coming to pit road to park it. I don't know.
I'd assume he's worn out. Seb Alexander gave him
all
he was
No,
worth.
he's going to do some
Here
donuts.
he comes.
Don't forget, people, donuts were invented. Victory donuts were invented by an IndyCar driver. Don't let a NASCAR driver tell you otherwise. Kissing the brick was started by an IndyCar driver. Don't let a NASCAR driver tell you otherwise.
They don't even drink milk in Indianapolis, Gary. NASCAR drivers, that is.
They should.
Julian doing a Dutch victory lap here.
I need to put that up there. I need to get rid of that. That's what I need to do.
Not talking about me, are you?
No. I'm trying to get the right graphics up. And there we go, Julian. And it's just as close of a finish that we got today than we did at the DW12 yesterday. I think it was 0.046 yesterday, 0.049 today. Luis Nunez over Seb Alexander. Luis Nunez comes home 3rd. And he had quite the adventuresome race. We will talk to him momentarily about some of his adventures. Craig Forsyth, very quietly in a Craig-like race, survives and comes home 4th. That should be to nobody's surprise. Matthias Kraus.
In order to finish, first you must finish.
Exactly, and I was telling Julian that before the race as well. He was like, man, I need to do something. I'm like, dude, just finish the race. The win will come to you, but first you must finish. Aiden Millward, YouTuber, not a native oval driver, but man, is he putting together some pretty impressive oval drives here late last season into this season. P6.
Led some laps today.
Yeah.
Position. If the strategy had fallen a little differently, if we had not gotten that last caution, he may have finished on the podium or even won this race.
Christensen 8th, Inch 9th. Braden Whitaker in his, I believe this is his first race here in the league. His race didn't go without a little excitement either, but bring it home for a top 10 and a Velocity Online Racing Series race with 29 cars. Pretty good. That's a pretty good start to your career here. Next page, Stout. Unfortunately, a lot of these guys, disappointing finishes. Stout, Orman, O'Sullivan, we're all battling for a podium finish there at the end. Caught up, Tim Bree as well. Coker, 15th. I did not see what happened to Coker in the incident, but he had to retire. Strauss, 16th. Bennyworth, 17th. He had a good day going for him. Bart's 18th. Bonnie, he led some laps, 19th. Tessera, he got caught up kind of in an ARCA brake situation. He's 20th. Gilles, 21st. Mitchum, 22nd. Kane, 23rd. Molina, 24th. Lovern, 25th. Van Gastel, 26th. Jordan Evans, 27th. And Mark Murphy, a day that he wants to forget, 28th. Former series winner. Former series champion.
The boost. Yeah, former champion and the pole sitter both being snake bit today. Days it could have went differently for both Mitchum and Murphy. Being a double M, no good in Texas.
Finding those trends.
I have an update on Coker. He's had a penalty for passing under yellow and decided just to call it quits.
All right, fair enough.
All right, we've got everyone but Nunez in the booth. If you want to pull anyone up, let me know. I've got Strauss, Orman, Altena, and Murphy all waiting.
All right, we were just racking up some replays here.
So I guess only one of our podium winners, because Alexander and Nunez are both MIA.
All right, so let's take a look here, and we'll at least rack up a replay with Nunez. And he's welcome to join us. Is he in any other? Maybe send him a message in the IR18 paddock chat. See if we can get him to come to the interview if he wants one. And then, of course, Alexander is welcome as well. But it is late where Alexander is, so he might want to just go to bed. I don't blame him. But we will get a start on things here. We will bring Julian right on up to start with this thing. Since there he is, and since we're waiting for the other two, but here he is, our winner today, Julian Altena, getting his 12th career win here in his series, and starting off this season 13 championship right on the road to getting maybe his third series championship here. It's been a while since he got one of those. But the monkey is off your back on the oval wins, and the monkey's off your back for being so snake-bitten here at the end of last season and even yesterday in the Iconic Series. Man, you finally got that win. Congratulations. I'm sure you're happy. Talk about your race. I mean, you really didn't turn a wheel wrong this entire race. It seems like whatever bad luck was haunting you, demons were exercised today.
Yeah, for sure. If I have to sum it up, it's actual relief. Like, apart from being a guy, I feel like Danica Patrick winning our first race. Just, oh man, I cannot believe I won that race. And, you know, I at the end of the thing, I got slightly lucky with those guys crashing out, but I was on the right strategy all race long, and I had them at that point as well. So, yeah, to win fair and square is just amazing against these guys. You know, I really have to thank everyone on the team for working with us. I really have to thank IAR, you know, those guys. We're closing in on them, and they're awesome to race with, great motivation. You know, sometimes we have differences in opinion, like at Indy Road the other day or the other week with Rashad, but to race against those guys, it's pure class, and just everything about it is great. And I really appreciate the I guess leniency sometimes they give us and we give them. It's just all about the respect for racing. It's so hard, but it's fair. It's just awesome, and that's what you get with those top guys like IAR. It's just amazing to run with those guys. But overall, very good race. Shame about the amount of yellows. People not really listening to the pre-race briefing, it sounded like, but the racing product itself was awesome. Just Texas never disappoints in these kinds of races, and yeah, to hold Seb off, like you said, not turning the wheel on was really turning the wheel wrong was really difficult. I did actually turn one wrong on 2 laps to go. I ended a little bit too high. I was not really planning to do that, but it worked out nicely because it forced Seb to go low, and then I could take that line away from him on exit, which set me up for the win there. So in the end, not everything was all bad there, but yeah, like I said, just great to run with those guys, and special shout out to Seb as well for keeping it all clean. I know the last 2 times I battled one of those guys, like I say, we run close and hard, but it's usually fair. And at Vegas, it wasn't ideal, let's just say. Wasn't bad intent by any stretch of the imagination, don't get me wrong, but after those two wrongs, it's great to have a right again and finally win for the first of all, finish for the first time since September on an oval. Just excellent result by us. And yeah, like I say, it's a shame that Liam and the guys got taken out in that wreck, but I had them, which is the most important thing.
Clindy, go ahead.
Yeah, you said it's all class from the IAR guys, but you took them to school today, not only on strategy, but the lines you had at the end there. It looked like Jesper might have gotten a bit of a break with one of the late cautions, allowing him to flip back onto the same tire as you, although you cut that off and took the same opportunity to pit. Was there any point where you felt that maybe one of those cautions could have fallen and put Jesper on the front foot instead of on the back foot?
Yeah, the second to last one. I'm destroying all kinds of things here in my room. But the second to last yellow, where he had to save fuel, and then when the yellow came out, I already said on the voice chat, like, great win, Jesper, because I knew that he was going to move forwards, and that he was going to be in the top 5. He would have been on equal tires, equal fuel to all of us, and I just knew that he was going to win at that point. But then, he got into traffic, and then an incident happened right in front of him, which took him out, unfortunately. So like I say, I probably could have had him despite that, but it would have made my life really difficult for sure with that one. But yeah, that was the only one where I was really worried about it.
Well, spotlight's all yours.
Yeah.
Series owner, series winner, looking to establish yourself as all-time tied as the number 3 champion, or as your 3rd championship. You got shout-outs. I know you've got fans in the chat. Any sponsors, etc.?
Yeah, I have to thank my girlfriend first of all. She's just amazing. We've been through a lot lately, but just really happy that finally, we can start the year on a positive foot now with this win as well. It's gonna boost my mental health for sure, because it was really depressing to DNF all those races. It was actually eating away at me quite literally personally. So it's just great to win finally, and thanks to her for the support always. Hopefully she can join us again in another DW12 race sometime soon. But yeah, Liam for working out the strategy with me, Carol being in the voice chat, everybody else on the team just did a great job. Like I say, most of those guys didn't have the best of luck today, but they've all been legends today. Like I mentioned, IAR, awesome guys to race with. In a way, they're tutoring me as well. Gary, you say I took them to school. I like to think of it as their tutoring finally paying off, because when you race against people that are better than you, you improve yourself. So it's all credit to them, really. They push us to reach new limits for ourselves that we don't even know we have. At least I don't. And to finally get that reward is just incredible. So thanks to those guys. IFS Personal Financial Planning with Alex Boney, Gary Lovern from the team as well. Lovers Incorporated, check them out, loversinc.com. You guys for broadcasting as always. It's great to have you guys here together on Saturdays as well now. As usual, everyone who came out to race today. Again, there's some stuff that needs to be worked on for the next ovals, but overall, great turnout. It's really amazing to see 28 cars here. It's been a long time since we've had that many, so it's just awesome to have. Thanks to everyone who came out and put on a good show.
Well, you are now 12 wins now in your career. You're now tied 3rd all time with Bruno with 12 wins. and now you are on the march for championship number 3, and you got yourself in a good start for it with the win here at Texas. Congratulations. I know you're going to enjoy this one, so go enjoy it, and we will catch you next week at Watkins Glen.
Absolutely. I am not going to talk about the championship, though. I want to finish more ovals first before I even think about it.
That's right. Don't count those chickens before they hatch. It's my job to build up the drama, but it's your job to set expectations. All right,
it's
Julian.
your job to build up the drama in the booth. It's my job to build up the drama in the community.
All right, we'll catch you at the next one, Julian. Congratulations, buddy, man. We were very happy for you.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Love you guys as well.
Hugs and kisses, boo. Bye-bye.
All right.
We got Sub Alexander waiting as well.
Yeah, let's bring him on up. And there he is. Here is Seb joining us. Seb, congratulations. P2. I know it's late in your neck of the woods, but a great run as the only IAR car to survive the carnage of the day, another high attrition race. But your moment there, right there at the end, about 2 laps ago, you got underneath Julian. You had a shot. What happened?
Yeah, I felt like I basically had it, but kind of chickened out because I didn't really know if he was closing the door and I was too late or not. It was just like so borderline, right? So I decided that I'd rather live than win and try to get it done the little time that was left. But yeah, there was just, I think it took too much out of my tires early in that battle.
Go ahead, Clindy.
Seb, we know that your team found itself probably on the back foot of some of the strategy today, especially with Jesper undercutting so aggressively. What were the team comms like in trying to keep up with all the Altena Autosport cars out there today? Julian spoke very highly of your team and how well you guys raced together, and that your tutelage on them has finally paid off, where he feels like he can go wheel to wheel and best you on days like today. But was there any sort of pressure or disagreement on what strategy to do during the race today?
I guess there was just like different thoughts. I mean, Jesper was he really wanted to undercut, and he just probably did it a little bit too aggressively. That was it, I think. Other than that, it was just, I mean, we kind of got offset from that caution where I just followed Julian like way past the pit lane before the pace car had even caught up to the field, which is my bad. But yeah, so since from that moment it was like offset all the way until that final caution resetting and everything. But it was just kind of straightforward there. The fall off is so big here, right? So you don't want to stay out for too long, because if it stays green, you're gonna find yourself undercut by a mile. But if you go in too early, then you might have to save fuel, or you're the one with destroyed tires at the end. So it's you kind of just have to go by gut feeling on when to do it. And I think it worked out today. That last caution was probably a little lucky. Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Obviously, it's hard to wrangle this racetrack. I can understand if you're out of breath or need to collect yourself, but second place on the podium here, silver medal, well deserved and well earned. Do you have any friends, family, or sponsors you'd like to shout out while you've got the spotlight?
Just my teammates at AR, and Mark and Jesper in particular. Mark came back once he cooled off and crewed us the rest of the way.
How long did it take for him to cool off?
I don't know. I want to say at least a full stint. Probably maybe 2.
That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah. Well, like, oh yeah.
I'm sorry we had his temperature high from earlier in the week. So
yeah. No worries. It happens.
Well, a good start to the season. I mean, it's a more remarkable stat that I'm looking at right now from last season is you only had 7 starts all of last season. And I know a lot of that had to do with your availability. And you finished 8th in the championship with the one win you had at Laguna. Already now, the kickoff this season, you're in a much better spot than you started or ended last season. Now you're 2nd in the championship and heading off to Watkins Glen next. which is a track we know you also race pretty decently at. So a great start to this championship. P2 today here at Texas Motor Speedway. A thrilling finish. Just a hair off the win, but we expect to see that second win here sometime in the near future. But good show, great finish, and a good reason to celebrate for the week. So congratulations, and we will catch you at the next one, Seb.
Thanks, guys. I'm not sure if I can make Watkins. Remains TBD, but we'll see.
We'll
Otherwise,
see.
it's the next one after that.
We
Have a
look
good
forward. Yeah, all right. Take care. All right. And just while we have, and I'm thinking about it, the next race after Watkins Glen is the Milwaukee Mile at the start of February. So we're going to take a week off or so after Watkins Glen. Then we go to the Mile. Then we'll take a week off, then go to Iowa. And then we'll follow up the next week after Iowa at Montreal. And then we're into the Velocity Online Racing's version of the month of May. And the start of March there. And that is the schedule upcoming. I'll get that off the screen here. And I don't think we got Lewis, but shame. I would love to hear about the condition of his car at the end of that one. But Cindy, I'll turn it over to you. In lieu of Lewis not being here, any comments on Lewis? I guess just sticking to it, I guess, to get that third place.
Yeah, I think he didn't have the car underneath him that the front two had, and I think he and Forsyth both had damage. Their lap times looked very similar through the end of the race. I think they both had right side pod damage, which just drags you down and makes you so much slower all the way around the track, like to the tune of 5 to 10%. It's really hard to make any sort of moves on the drivers in front of you when you have that sort of condition affecting your race car. But because it's so hard to pass here and they're so close, especially on those fresher tires, it allowed them to secure third and fourth there over, I believe it was Kraus.
Yeah, with the fresher tires that he had. Yeah. Yep, for sure. All right, final thoughts before we start looking forward to Watkins Glen here at Texas Motor Speedway from you.
I mean, every new year can start out a little bit bumpy, right? We definitely saw some, I'd say, nerves or maybe inexperience show out there today. More yellows than we usually see in this series. And some people seemingly not, executing strategy the way they want to. So maybe, go back, watch the tape, review, kind of think about how you want to be on offense or defense in different parts of these races, right? You got to pick one and stick with it and commit, because if you double back on your strategy, you're going to end up at the tail end of the line and you're going to have to pass all those cars again. So I'm glad that strategy played a role today. It's unfortunate that none of it got to finish with strategy at the end, right? I was hoping to see how Jesper would make it through to the end of the race, but attrition reared its head, and hopefully we have cleaner and greener races for everyone the rest of the race, just like Altena had today for the first time since last year.
Well, the good news is next week's race will be all green, unless they block the track up at the bus stop, which we have seen happen before on other broadcasts and other races. But if they can get through opening laps there, unless that track is blocked up, there's probably not going to be any cautions on the road course race. So we might see a quick one next week. But I think I'm very happy for Julian. It was wearing on him. I mentioned to me a number of times that this was wearing on him, and I just told him all you need to do is just finish the Gary strat, and then after that, if the win will come, you just got to finish. And whether he followed my strat or not remains to be seen, but definitely, as the adage goes, to finish first you must finish. Who knew Confucius was a race car driver? Anyways, but that's going to do it here for our coverage at Texas Motor Speedway. Once again, your podium for the Texas 300 from Texas is Julian Altena, getting win number 12 in his VOR career. And finishing second is Seb Alexander, and Luis Nunez coming home third. Join us again here next week as the teams of drivers head to Watkins Glen for the first of 3 road course races this season. Coverage, as always, will start approximately at 3 p.m. Eastern. Again, that's 3:00 p.m. Eastern. And remember, for the correct broadcast time in your area, find everything right here at YouTube, at youtube.com, and just search Velocity Online Racing. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game's not easy, so please help support us and Velocity Online Racing channel with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below. Let us know you thought of today's racing. If you enjoyed today's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video. If you're new, click subscribe, and while you at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so don't miss out on more of Velocity Online Racing's other iRacing programming, including action from their IR18 Sprint and their iconic DW12 series. All those races are on the channel. They're already scheduled. All you have to do is click the notify me button. You'll be notified before they go live and when they go live if you click those notification buttons. So make sure to do that. Today's Texas 300 is brought to you by LOVERN'S Incorporated. LOVERN'S provides professional services in renovation, remodeling, painting, and mold removal for government, commercial, and residential projects. For a quote to learn more, like them on Facebook or visit their website at loversinc.com. All the links you need are in the description. Track cams for this race are provided by Whiplash Sim Cams. Get the most out of your iRacing experience with Whiplash Sim Cams. To learn more about Whiplash, like them on Facebook or follow them on Instagram and Twitter. Links are in the description. For business inquiries and to learn more about Velocity Online Racing and what they do, visit velocityonlineracing.com. or like them on Facebook or follow them on Twitter. So for Klendy, everyone here at Velocity Online Racing, I'm Gary Godsoe saying to all, happy Saturday. Thanks for watching, and to all of our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Catch us again right here next week at Watkins, Glen for the next race of the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship. We'll see ya.